Hello then, welcome to this edition of News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. So we are coming to you live from the Platinum Place here in Accra, coming to you across the world on our social media pages, GHOne TV and YouTube. Let's take a look at our headlines tonight. Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association gives police 48-hour ultimatum to apprehend suspect in the Ridge Hospital assault case, as Ghana Medical Association condemns Health Minister's friendly engagement with suspect in a viral video. And support fund for children of victims of the Adanse helicopter tragedy accrues 2,315,000 cedis as Vice President leads post-burial visit to victims' homes. An office of the Special Prosecutor debunks and describes reports of no evidence of corruption by the FBI against Cecilia Dapa as misleading. In business, government settles 9.7 billion cedi in coupon payment under the Domestic Debt Exchange Program. And on the Stay with me as I bring you details of these and more. Tonight we begin from the Ashanti region as the police command there has launched investigations into the ownership of some arms after it intercepted a vehicle loaded with firearms and ammunition along the Aputuja-Bekwai Road. The incident, which occurred Sunday, August 17, raises fresh concerns about unlawful arms possession in the region.
The Ashanti Regional Police Command is probing the unlawful possession of weapons after officers from Kuntunansi District Police Patrol Team intercepted a suspicious vehicle along the Eputueja-Bekwai Road on Sunday. Police say 2 men were spotted beside a white Toyota Sienta, allegedly smoking a substance suspected to be narcotics. The men fled into a nearby bush upon seeing the patrol team abandoning the vehicle. A search of the car uncovered an AK-47 assault rifle, a locally manufactured firearm, 2 AK-47 magazines loaded with 30 rounds each, 4 packets of ammunition and 7 loose rounds. Other items recovered include cowrie shells, boots, sandals, a Huawei smartphone, and identity documents.
So we are going to extend our investigations to wherever authority that we are supposed to go to, be it DVLA, be it Ghana card office, wherever we are supposed to go to, we are going to ensure that our men who are investigating this matter go to all those places and gather all the necessary information that we need. So as I indicated earlier, we are getting some positive leads, and those leads, I'm pretty sure very soon, will help us get them arrested.
The vehicle has been impounded and the exhibits are being held at the Kuntunansi police station to support investigations.
Whoever has information with regard to these 2 persons we are looking for, or any information regarding the vehicle, should either contact the nearest police station, the Kuntunansi District Police Command, or can even call our emergency numbers 191 18555 and the 112. You can call these numbers, share the information with the police, and then I can assure you once again that, yes, with the information that we will get from the general public, it will going to help us get them arrested.
The Ashanti Regional Police Command is urging the public to volunteer any information that could lead to the arrest of the suspects by contacting the nearest police station.
Now, away from that, government has received 2,315,000 Ghana cedis so far in donation for the fund created to support children of the victims of the August 6th helicopter tragedy. Speaking during a post-burial visit to the victims' homes, Deputy Government spokesperson Shamima Muslim reiterated government's commitment to supporting families of the victims and urged Ghanaians to do same.
On August 15, 2025, President John Dramani Mahama announced the establishment of the Children's Support Fund to provide long-term assistance for children of victims of the August 6 helicopter crash. According to the President, the initiative is aimed to guarantee sustained support for the dependents of those who lost their lives in the tragedy.
The decision that the government has made is for the creation of a Children's Support Fund for the children of the victims of the 6th August helicopter crash. The purpose of this fund is clear. It is to ensure that the children left behind will never be deprived of the opportunities, the care and the security that their parents worked so hard to provide for them.
So far, 2,315,000 Ghana cedis have been contributed to the fund. Speaking during a visit led by Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman and Chief of Staff Julius Debra, Deputy Spokesperson for Government Shamima Muslim reaffirmed the government's commitment supporting the bereaved families.
After the tragedy and the state funeral and burial service, where we now have interred successfully all our 8 fallen heroes, the President was of the opinion that we should visit each and every family to find out how they are doing, especially the spouses and the children. And because the President is out of the jurisdiction, the acting President, the Vice, Professor Jane Opoku-Agyeman, led the delegation today to pay visitations to each and every one of the victims of the tragedy.
She further appealed to Ghanaians to contribute to the fund in order to complement government's efforts at easing the burden on the families.
With the announcement of the Child Support Fund, and today I'm happy to announce that a lot of donations are already coming through, so you may want to also visit the government communication portals on how you can also donate to the Child Support Fund for the various victims or the families of our fallen heroes. This is also to help the government ensure that whatever their fathers would have done for them, government will step in and do same.
The fund is expected to continue attracting contributions from individuals, institutions, and organizations dedicated to the welfare of the victims' children and spouses. The visits, led by the Vice President and the Chief of Staff, reflect the state's resolve to ensure that the sacrifices of the victims are honored through sustained care and protection for their families.
Meanwhile, earlier today, the Chief of Defense Staff, Lieutenant General William GHOne, presented ranks and insignia to the bereaved families of personnel of the Adanse helicopter crash at the Air Force headquarters in Accra. Now, the ceremony was to honor the fallen heroes by officially conferring the ranks posthumously awarded by the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. In his address, the CDS conveyed his condolences to the families and thanked sympathizers for their support. He emphasized that government had put together a holistic package for all 8 victims of the crash, which will be presented at an appropriate time, in addition to every other benefit due them. On his part, the Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Eric Ajin-Frimpong, assured the families they would receive the full benefits and entitlements accruing to the new ranks. In addition, the families were presented with an amount of 315,000 cedis, an amount accrued through donations from supporting organizations, institutions, and individuals. The Chief of Air Staff also indicated that all other entitlements will be made available at a later date. Reverend Mark Douglas Abu-Baidoo, speaking on behalf of all 3 families, expressed gratitude to the CDS and the Ghana Armed Forces for their unwavering support and presence during this period of grave loss. You're watching News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. So let's do some other stories now. In the office of the Special Prosecutor, that's OSP, has described reports circulating in sections of the media as misleading regarding the FBI's investigation into dealings of Cecilia Abena-Dapaah. According to the OSP, certain media outlets inaccurately reported that the FBI found no evidence of corruption or no direct evidence of corruption, and even claimed that Madame Cecilia Dapaah had been cleared. In a statement issued Tuesday, August 19, the OSP says these reports, quote, are a mischievous misrepresentation of their half-yearly report, unquote. The OSP clarifies that their investigation, conducted in collaboration with the FBI, found no direct and immediate evidence of corruption, which is a specific legal standard. This distinction is crucial and differs significantly from blanket statements suggesting no evidence or even a clearance. The OSP further explains the case was referred to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, that's GHOne, due to strong indications of suspected money laundering and structuring which fall under GHOne's mandate. And it further states that although the previous GHOne leadership returned the docket to the OSP without action, the new leadership has requested for it to be returned, and the OSP says it has complied. It's further urging media outlets to ensure accurate and responsible reporting by adhering to official documents to avoid misrepresentation. This is News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo. So you want to stay with me? When I come back on Inside Tonight, we'll be delving into the alleged case of assault at the Ridge Hospital. Do stay.
In Ghana, West Africa, the mornings are somewhat, if not for the perfect companion. What a good day to start. It's always smiles knowing we are together. Work is always effective with NASCO home appliances. Classic home appliance for the fisher folks.
Thank you so much for staying here on News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo Lansa. Tonight on Insights, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, GHOne, has given the police 48 hours to arrest suspect Ralph St. Williams and his accomplices in the Ridge Hospital assault case. The attack, which occurred Sunday evening, was allegedly led by social media activist Ralph St. Williams, who reported to the hospital with some injuries. We understand he became agitated after not being attended to. Now, although the health minister, Kwabena Kando, has strongly condemned and directed a full-scale investigation into the matter, the GHOne is not satisfied. It believes 48 hours is enough time for perpetrators to be arrested. There's more in the following report.
The leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association visited the Greater Accra Regional Hospital on Tuesday following the disturbing incidents involving about 50 rowdy mob led by Ralph St. Williams at the facility, leading to the assault of a nurse on duty. According to the nurse, Rejoice Chochobote, she was physically assaulted by Ralph St. Williams and 8 others, resulting in severe body pain, with a cell phone and money also stolen. She has since been admitted at the facility for treatment.
Okay. The blood had dried. Okay. So I just had to put a gauze on it so that we reassure him. Mm-hmm. He wasn't happy about it, so he took off the dressing I did for him. Okay. Then I approached him and I told him that I've done a dressing for you, so be patient. We have 2 trauma cases and other cases too are there. He wants us to leave them. He got angry and he started yes. So he did this to me. And then when he went out, I don't know where the guys came from. Most of the health workers saw them earlier, so they had flee. I didn't see them. And then they, from my back to my chest, and then they were just... Raphael, I don't know, Raph did this to me. He hit me with the phone with the fist, and I even dodged a couple of the fists, and they hit me all over. But right now I have a dislocation on my shoulder, and some headaches and body pains.
Although Minister of Health, Kwabena Kando, visited the facility on Monday, August 18, 2025, and assured of the government's commitment to a thorough investigation, the leadership of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association is not satisfied. They have, however, issued a 48-hour ultimatum to the government to arrest the suspects and 8 others or face possible action. General Secretary of the association, Dr. David Chum Tinkrine, also registered their displeasure of the health minister exchanging pleasantries with Ralph St. Williams at the scene.
We are not happy at all. Our people are traumatized. We met management. They've told us those set of measures that they have put in place. We think that they are not adequate, all right, to guarantee the safety of our members, all right, and we are all guarded by laws in Ghana, okay? And we are asking government to arrest the guy immediately and the 8 accomplices. We were told there were about 50 guys that came, but those who laid their hands on the lady are about 8. We even saw the minister embracing this gentleman that is purported to have assaulted the nurses and midwives in such an affectionate embrace. We think that is uncalled for.
The association says it will consider further action if the government fails to respond within the stated time frame.
You have every right under the law to remove yourself from that danger. And our people have told us this morning, after interacting with them, that they are not safe. They feel that their safety has been breached. If anybody can just walk into a facility like Ridge Hospital and throw his weight about and beat nurses and midwives, and you have other party apparatchiks, telling them to edge on, that is unfortunate. If by 48 hours nothing has been done, we will advise ourselves at the emergency department, and then on and on we shall take such remedial steps to prove to the ordinary Ghanaian that we cannot allow anybody, any riffraff, to just handle nurses and midwives in Ghana. who are professionals and serving the good people of Ghana.
The leadership of the association also engaged with the nurses who revealed they are still traumatized by Sunday's incidents.
So whatever happened at the emergency, it's like yesterday when I came on duty, every minute I have to be looking outside. Maybe I don't know who is standing there holding a gun. I don't know who is coming to attack me. So it's like all my care yesterday was emotional. I was traumatized.
So that report was put together by a member of our health desk, and we also know that besides the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association complaining or expressing a lot of disaffection about what happened, the Ghana Medical Association is also expressing strong displeasure over what it describes as the open and friendly engagement between the Minister of Health and the lead suspect involved in this violent incident at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. According to the association, such conduct by a state official only serves to encourage and embolden some unruly individuals to follow similar ways. Let me just bring you highlights of that statement. And it reads, the GMA wishes to express our displeasure with the open and friendly engagement of the lead suspect by the Minister of Health. Such displays only serve to encourage and embolden some unruly individuals to follow similar ways. We call on the management of the Greater Accra Regional Hospital to immediately institute due processes to ascertain the true facts about the grievances and find lasting solutions to the issues. It further states the hospital should also provide necessary medical and psychological support for the affected staff to help deal with the trauma inflicted by the incident. Additionally, adequate security measures should be put in place to protect health professionals and ensure their safety is guaranteed while they do their work. The GMA warns that if these senseless attacks continue, health workers would have to exercise their right to remove themselves from situations that present imminent and serious danger to our lives, safety, or health as per the Labour Act. Well, today, like I mentioned, we will be having a conversation on this incident, which has generated conversation within the main media space and also on social media as well, because we know that the main suspect, Ralph, is a social media activist, and also he belongs to Democracy Hub and Fix the Country movement. They've also released a statement saying that they know that one of their men, Ralph, has been involved in something like this. They would wait for investigations to conclude before commenting. But tonight I've been joined by Philemon Jampong, and he is Assistant National PRO of the Ghana Registered and Nurses Midwives Association, and Ms. Sarah Dankwa, who is with the Research Unit of the Nursing and Midwifery Division at the Ridge Hospital. We'll be engaging in different strands of this particular issue. But let me also mention that we've been joined on phone by Mr. Tony Goodman, who speaks for the Ghana Health Service. I'm grateful for your time. Let me start with you, sir, this evening, because concerns have been raised about the minister exchanging some pleasantries with the lead suspect in this matter on the day that he decided to visit the Ridge Hospital to familiarize and get first-hand information on what happened. What's the minister's response to these concerns?
Thank you. Good evening to our listeners. I'm not sure the action by the minister at the hospital is strong. The person we're talking about is also a patient of that facility, even though he has actually misconducted himself in that facility. He's still a patient. If you look at the hand that we saw in that video, meant that there's a patient. And you don't expect the minister to start attacking, and that is not the work of a minister though, attacking such a person at the facility. The needed or the respectable thing to be done is to get the police involved in this matter. The minister has called for the arrest of this person. So that is what it's supposed to be. I'm not sure we want minister to go and be arresting people, holding people, fighting in public. I'm not sure if that should happen. But I've said a different thing. So what is important is immediately this thing happened, the minister sent a delegation to the hospital. The delegation came back to report to him, said, no, let me go and see these persons who were actually involved in this incident, and went to meet these nurses, met with the gentleman who was brought to the facility before this whole thing happened, and asked management to beef up security. He's informed National Security, Ghana Police Service to beef up security there, and I assured workers there that he's going to make sure that their security is taken seriously. I'm sure the minister has done. The minister has started this whole thing before we now have others joining in. He's done a lot, and I'm sure the only thing we can do at this stage is to commend the minister for swiftly moving into the hospital to make sure that calm is returned. Because when we got there, the staff were so threatened, and some even wanted to leave post. He went there and assured them that he's there for them and will make sure that they are fine.
All right, Mr. Goodman, I would appreciate it if you speak up a little, but do I get the sense you're saying that once investigations have not been concluded and nobody has been necessarily found guilty, the minister has done no wrong if he goes to visit the nurses, acquaint himself with the problem, and also see the supposed suspect and also exchange pleasantries with him? You don't see anything wrong with that?
I don't see anything wrong with a minister going into a hospital, seeing a patient, and then the patient having a handshake with the patient, and then now dealing with the matter for which he went there. He has condemned the attack on the nurses. He has said, for no reason, for no whatever reason, we don't want to have this situation in any facility. Now, because I have a misunderstanding with the health worker, I want to attack the facility. The minister has condemned it in no uncertainty.
All right, let that
be put on record.
We have. In fact, that was reported. That was reported.
Let that also be put on record.
Mr. Goodman, I have to mention that has been reported extensively. I would just like for you to tell me if you have any information on whether this suspect has been invited by the police, has been questioned under any circumstance. Are you aware if such has happened?
Yes, I'm aware that there were two in number. The other one was picked. The third guy, I don't know who is Ralph and who is who, but one has been picked. One has gone during when they were going to arrest them. But as I speak to you, the one who has been arrested is alleged to have been one who actually knocked the gentleman down with a motorbike. So that guy is in police custody as we speak.
Mr. Goodman, can you do me a favor? I mean, I get the sense that the minister is very interested in this. I've seen him talk passionately about this situation. If you don't mind, I can give you a few minutes while I engage my other guests to try and verify who this said person is. I'm sure the public will be interested in terms of exactly who has been picked up by the police. If you don't mind, while I engage my guest here, if you can just follow up on that and give me the detailed information, I'll be grateful.
That's right.
All right, we'll come back to you. My producers will call you again. But let me come to Ms. Sarah Dankwa, who works at the Ridge Hospital with the research unit. I mean, this has raised a lot of questions. And I've seen other nurses who are not at Ridge speak about the triage system, which appears to be the concern of this man who is alleged to have assaulted nurses in the facility. Help us understand, when I come to a hospital with a case, what is going through the mind of an emergency nurse? How do they determine what kind of care to give in a situation where there are multiple cases? Who should be attended to first?
All right. Thank you so much, and greetings to your team and then my boss. So in 2011, the Ministry of Health, with a group of experts, decided that Ghana should run an emergency system with the South African triage scale as one of the center on the key components of the emergency service rendered in Ghana. One of their policy statements was that all Ghanaians, all patients that enter a hospital facility should be able to have emergency health care in Ghana. Now, that was quite ambiguous because in a system where all Ghanaians have to get emergency services, means that they have to be stratified and then appropriate ways of taking care of a country that is based on humanistic, cultural, traditional way of seeing things. Because in my country, Ghana, I know that when a 78-year-old who has cancer and has had cancer for 14 years comes to the ED and meets a 16-year-old who has asthma and is gasping for air, I am supposed to take care of the elderly woman and let the young boy wait, because of course, culture and tradition, but that is not it. In our hospital setting, our emergency system discriminates, full stop. We discriminate. It is not on first come, first serve. No.
Okay,
so
that's
we have
an
a
important
list
point
called
to note.
discriminator list.
Okay.
So when you walk into my ED, I can decide as a senior healthcare professional with years of experience in the ED to say you are fine, you are not fine. The only time I can say you are not fine is when you sit at the triage desk and then I take your vital signs. Because you could be walking well, but your vitals could expose a lot of things. So this instance, we have a protocol. So the standard operating practice at Rich Hospital Emergency Department is that once you get out of either an ambulance, a taxi, walking, you're supposed to go through the security. You come through the triage. At the triage desk, there is an orange unit, a red ambulance unit, then the nurses station, a resuscitation bay. You move to the medical consulting room, to the trauma room. And if you could bypass all these and go to the trauma room, then it means you had an agenda. You were not sick. Full stop. This is by years of practice.
Okay.
But if you say you passed the security man at Range Hospital, you pass the triage desk where there will be 2 nurses who are willing, with a monitor, willing to take care of you, whether you are bleeding from wherever. You pass them. They are supposed to even direct you to the information service, where, because of the digital system we have, your information is supposed to digitalize and given a card. You bypass all this. So when you get to the trauma room, how is care going to be dispensed?
Okay.
Understand? You can't even get pharmacy services without a card. And so this is the standard operating
all right.
practice.
Since you brought in the issue of the card and getting the digital system set up to take care of an individual, a patient or a client, let me just find out from you. You've just mentioned discrimination. On what basis do you say that, forget about all those protocols, let's attend to this person? Is there any point in time I walk into a health facility, you are with Rach, let me speak specifically to Rach, where I say, forget all those things, there's a life at stake. What is the measure that determines that kind of thinking and attention?
Okay. So first of all, we don't only pay attention to RTAs, road traffic accidents, as just emergencies, no. So it should just get out of all the minds of Ghanaians. Road traffic accidents are not just the emergency cases you see in an emergency. Somebody has diabetes, the sugar level is at 0.5, it's an emergency. Somebody has seizures, is an emergency. Somebody has
asthmatic attack,
is an emergency. You understand? So it depends on the category. Now, for example, let's take a road traffic accident. Road traffic accident comes, the hand is chopped off, bleeding. What is he doing at a triage? Now, triage nurse is even running with you to the trauma room. Somebody has to start something.
Okay.
Somebody has head injury. Somebody has a spinal injury. What are you doing out there? We can take you straight to resuscitation bay. That's our red, where treatment starts, and then the triage nurse drags the monitor there and starts doing whatever she would have done at the table there. What it means is, again, somebody goes through a road traffic accident, is unconscious, no patient relative, no card, nothing. Nobody asks you about money, no. Range Hospital service. We do a 24-hour service, start taking care of you even before we start asking you for money. That was a service. This has been there for 5 years, 4 years. So you don't enter Rage and say nobody's taking care of you. You start complaining about the ED services when you don't know that we run a triage services. So when you come, for example, with a toothache of 7 days, thank you very much. That's green. No matter the pain, please, your pain, a senior healthcare so once we say, I'll intentionally share the discriminator list with you.
Okay.
Even under pain, we categorize.
You categorize. All right, I'll come back to you. Let me speak to Philemon, who works with the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association. I mean, this year has been something else for nurses, right? There was a strike. There's an issue with the health minister. You were concerned about his actions. And then there was a meeting. You called off the strike. And now we're seeing something as major as this coming up again. People have used the occasion to talk about how they feel about services rendered by nurses. But you have also, in previous times, spoken about how you think the people you take care of don't think of you as much as they think of themselves. I just saw you talking to a lady who is traumatized. Tell me, when you went to the Ridge Hospital, what did you experience with the nurses who were on call that day? Some of them had to actually change their clothing because they were scared of being attacked.
Well, thank you, my sister. I think the act was very disdainful. When I went to Ridge Hospital today, I almost shed tears. Because I was speaking to a very vulnerable nurse who had no sense of defense, being attacked by hooligans. And this is criminal. If you look at the intent for which Ralph and his team went there, I don't think they went there to seek medical care. Sarah has espoused what triaging is, so I wouldn't take time to go there. But you could see that the menstrual, I mean, the intent with which he went there was not to seek care, was to disrupt services.
No, but he came there with a visible injury.
What was the injury? He had abrasions and a minor cut on the finger. My dear, when you come to the hospital, as he said, we are biased in the emergency room for the sake of Ghanaians. Nobody goes to the hospital to, segregate patients.
Okay, but he came along with the person who had been hit. And
so that's what you get it wrong.
So I have training in anesthesia.
Okay,
so I've worked in the emergency room several times. I've been part of emergency response teams several times, and I know what triaging is. You can come to the hospital not talking, not shouting, and
you could be dying.
Yes, you could be dying in the next moment.
The one in actual pain can't scream.
He can't scream. The person is weak. He's already
So when you come and
tired.
you're screaming, you are not in pain.
But you are moving up and down with speed, with a video camera on, attacking patients. I mean, disrupt. He was actually scaring everybody there.
He didn't actually bring a patient to, or he brought a patient?
We understand that somebody was hit, and that person was also not being attended to, and so
that's unfortunate, and that's not true. That's why we took time to come up.
Right.
As an association, we sent the executives of GRNMA from Greater Accra to go there first. We sent the regional executives to go second, and national executives went there today. And when we went there, we had meetings with the management, with the staff, and with the victims. And you could see clearly that he shouldn't have been there in the first place. Whatever is wrong with him could have been treated at a CHIPS compound. Any ordinary clinic or small place can attend to his abrasions and wounds. He's fit, he's not sick. That's why he had the guts to hit a nurse, to injure the person. The lady had a dislocation. You can see the extent and then the force that was applied to cause a dislocation of the arm. And it leaves much to be desired. I will almost always condemn this act, and this is the reason why, as an association, we have come up with the 48-hour ultimatum that actions must be taken and the guy must be brought to book.
Right.
In criminal law, the actus reus and the mentia needs to be proven before you can be arrested, and this is very clear. He's all over. In fact, when he was recording, he was verbally threatening people, and it's all criminal.
I understand from another narration that the man he knocked down was also triaged, given a bed and treatment was started, including an IV line set, while awaiting a head scan. So it appears that he wasn't just seeking care for himself, but also the person who had been hit. But we've been trying to raise Ralph on the line. Unfortunately, we're unable to reach him because we would have loved to hear his side of the story as well. But we still have Mr. GHOne on the line. Sir, have you been able to confirm who exactly has been picked up by the police in relation to this assault at Ridge? Hello, Mr. GHOne.
The guy who was picked.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Yes, sir. I'm asking if you've been able to confirm the identity of the person who has been picked up by the police.
Yes, that person is not Raf, is his colleague who has been picked and is currently at Adaraka police station, being questioned, and then further investigation is being conducted by the Adaraka police station as I speak to you.
Do we know why Ralph himself has not been picked, since he has been pointed out as someone who hit a nurse who is currently healing from a dislocation?
That one you have to find out from the police.
Fair enough.
The necessary report has been made to the police. Persons who were injured have also reported to the police, and I'm sure they are doing their work. Further information from them will help.
I'm grateful for your time this evening, Mr. GHOne. Let me just wrap up with my guest in the studio now. So, an arrest has been made. Are you satisfied?
Not at all. Not at all. We think there's an association. We have been fair enough. We are Ghanaians. You heard my colleague rightly say that nobody is more Ghanaian than any of us. And we think that the necessary action must be taken by the authorities. This same gentleman was exchanging pleasantries. I cannot condemn the minister for exchanging pleasantries, but for him to go extra mile to be hugging this guy, whispering things, the guy was whispering things to the ear. He was, you see them giggling and laughing. It sent pain to our members. And the Labour Act was very clear in Section 119 that if you find the place where you are working to be dangerous, imminent danger, serious danger, or you have a reasonable cause of danger, you can remove yourself from the environment. At Ridge, the nurses were very clear. They are not safe. They don't feel happy. They don't understand why Ralph is still walking about doing social media posts, making videos. It's as if apparatus cannot arrest those who need arrest.
Right.
And it will allow them to continue to perpetuate, and it just emboldens more hooligans to continue to assault well-meaning Ghanaians who are rendering service to this country.
All right, so your ultimatum still stands. Until you see the main suspect arrested, what next for you as the GRNMA?
I think you know GRNMA very well. We don't need to talk plenty. This year, we have spoken enough. So when we give ultimatum, we expect actions to be taken.
Right. Let me just also mention that the Minority Caucus in Parliament has condemned this incident at the Ridge Hospital. In a statement, they described the event as reprehensible, noting that Mr. Williams, that's Ralph, was seen shouting, aggressively filming health professionals, patients and visitors without their consent. And so they're demanding a lot from government in regards to this. But let me just find out from you. You work at Ridge. What's the spirit in the emergency department as we speak?
Well, so the moment my boss, the head of nursing, Mrs. Gifty, sent the video to me, I got scared. Scary because hooliganism, yes, about 7 years of always beating us at the emergency. Today, something should happen. Otherwise, nurses and midwives at Ridge will lose faith in anything. We've been told to be quiet because we've been part of a very robust association. And so every time there are issues like this, we know association will come up. Today when they showed up, my heart entered my stomach. Because at the end of the day, we know we will see something.
Right.
They've gone, they've visited, and they don't visit only, they make sure things are done. We've seen them, they'll give money, I want more. But they do the right thing. And so at the time I was leaving Ridge at 6 p.m. today, you could feel, I was speaking to the hospital PRO. She said, Sarah, I think for the first time, I'm happy because of what I'm hearing from even some of the doctors.
All right.
That somebody is moving the way we want. You don't come to the region and work timidly.
Has security been beefed up though?
You see, at this moment, I don't even care whether security will be beefed or somebody would make sure security will be beefed.
Okay.
Reason being that, let me give you one very last scenario. When you come to the ED and I'm supposed to do CPR, stand on you, and do chest compressions, my attention is on your chest. What if somebody shoots me from the back? Look, it's scary. What they did to that girl could be happening to a doctor or a nurse or anybody.
Right.
And you can't give 100% care at the ED, knowing that you have to watch over your shoulders.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's an important... I'm really grateful for your time. And in subsequent bulletins, we will extend this conversation because, like I said, there are many strands to this, but we can't exhaust it all on news tonight. I'm grateful for your time. And Tony Goodman speaks for the Ministry of Health. You heard him on the phone there. He joined us earlier. Philemon, I beg your pardon, Jampong, is with the Ghana Registered Nurses Midwives Association. He is the assistant PRO, and Sarah Dankwa is with the research unit at the Ridge Hospital. She actually works with the nurses and midwifery division. This is a conversation I wouldn't want to end, but stay with us. I'm sure, definitely on the morning show tomorrow, Lily Mohammed and the team will be extending the conversation so we all have a full understanding and a grasp on what to expect when we enter the hospital, especially for emergency care, and what we also expect from our nurses and healthcare providers. That'll be all for Insight. We'll be back with more. This is News Tonight with me, Bernice, Abu-Baidoo Lanza. It's now time for business news.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
And in business tonight, government has released 9.7 billion cedis to bondholders under the domestic debt exchange program. In a statement, the Ministry of Finance said the latest payment amounting to some 9 million cedis was made today, Tuesday, August 19, and brings total disbursements under the program this year to 19.4 billion Ghana cedis. Officials insist the move reflects government's commitment to honoring its obligations, protecting investor confidence, and restoring credibility to Ghana's debt management framework. To strengthen repayment, two new safety mechanisms, a cedi sinking fund and a US dollar sinking fund, have been introduced to support settlements for bonds maturing in 2026, 2027, and 2028. Launched in 2022, the DDEP has faced criticism and public debate, but government says the latest payout underscores its resolve to stabilize the economy and sustain debt restructuring efforts. Let's do some other stories now. Lead campaigner for the Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity Campaign, Ras Mubarak, has called for adoption of free movement of persons within the African continent to accelerate Africa's development. The former Kumungu MP, who has set off on a journey across 39 African countries, is pushing for a visa-free continent by 2030. Yes, more.
The Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity Campaign spans 163 days of a road trip to promote a visa-free Africa by 2030, in line with African Union's 2063 agenda for a united and prosperous continent. Addressing the media before departure, lead campaigner for the initiative, Ras Mubarak, stated that the trip is intended to foster unity across the continent. He stressed the need for Africa to become a borderless continent to boost trade and promote prosperity.
Journey to unite this great continent called Africa. Africa has a lot of opportunities. If you look at the population of Africa, we are 1.4 billion. If you look at our combined GDP, it is 3.4 trillion. What it means is that if we are trading more amongst ourselves, if we are traveling in each other's country without restrictions, we'll be able to create more jobs for African sons and daughters. So we have decided to begin this journey. It's going to take us 163 days, approximately 600 hours of driving, or 40,000 kilometers on the road, and to meet with African heads of government, to address the press in every country that we go to, and then to urge them on the need for the people of Africa to come together, spending one currency, having a borderless Africa, and you have absolutely no idea the impact on our people.
For his part, Chief of Staff Julius Debra, who was at the venue to offer the government's support, advised the team to strictly adhere to security requirements to avoid challenges in the countries they will be passing through.
Security is the most important thing because there are ugly people all over the world. And so as much as possible, they should try and spend the night within town. They can always calculate easily and stay in town where at least you have the lack of people looking around. Usually when you spend too much time in the bush, it's crazy. You don't want to do that. And I've also prompted that they should pay attention to their logistical needs. Make sure you have spare tires, you have your jack, you have extra brake parts and brake fluid and medication, so that if something slows you down, you are able to change and immediately move on. They must also stay in touch with our various missions. Every country, once they are entering, they notify the folks at our mission, be it an embassy or high commission, let them know. You are Ghanaian citizens, you need to get as much protection as possible. We wish them well, and it is our prayer that once again they will put our name on the map of the world.
On the campaign, the team will meet with African leaders and appeal to their various governments to adopt visa-free policies. Scheduled media tours in the African nations are also intended to spread messages of African unity.
That'll be all for business news. Up next to sports.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
You're welcome on to sports, and finally, Gakato 4 is here with us tomorrow. That's Wednesday at the University of Ghana Stadium, Legon. We have the match day one fixtures, and there you have it on your screens now. First game at 3 p.m. We'll see the league champions Gold Stars in action against the fabulous Lads, who also won the FA Cup protocol at 3 p.m. And then at 6 p.m., second game will be on, and that will feature Accra So Folk, will take on the Lions from Kwando in Heart of Lions. That's the match day 1 tomorrow, 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. at the University of Ghana UG Stadium at Legon for match day 1. Talking about the top 4 fixtures of match day 1, coach for BNE Gold Stars, Frimpong Martin, is speaking ahead of the encounter tomorrow for his team and what it will mean for him and his team as the team prepares to take on their opponents in the top 4 ahead of going into Africa for the African campaign.
Will be a very good test for us. Like you said, to form us a very good preparation for us going to the Africa. And if you look at the teams involved in the top 4, Kotoko will also be going to Africa. House of Folk, they also have that prestige when it comes to Ghana football. And then Heart of Lions, if you watch them during the just ended league, you could see they also have the quality. So for me, it's a tournament we'll take it seriously because it will help us. If we are able to go through all the games, I think it will put us in a very good shape going to Africa.
Frimpong Manson, the coach of BNE Goals, ahead of tomorrow's game with the Warriors. Don't forget the new venue for the games is the University of Ghana Stadium, moved from the Accra Sports Stadium. Reasons behind it, we've been told by the chairman for GHOne, GHOne Ansah.
We are playing currently, we'll play the top 4, which begins tomorrow at UG, that's Legon Stadium. And the fixtures are still the same, nothing has changed. The gate opens at 3, and then we'll play the second game at 6. And so maybe quickly let me run you through the gate fees and other things. When you go to Legon, the green seat all around is 20 cedis. And then when you come to the red seat, that is 100 cedis. And then we have the blue seat, which is also 150. And I'm talking about 150 Ghana. And so these are the lay-down programs that we're doing. The gate opens at 12 o'clock, and we are ready to go.
And that should be it for us in sport. Back to you, Bernice, for the rest of the bulletin.
And on the international. That'll be all for this bulletin. I'm grateful for your time. My name is Bernice Abu-Baidoo. So we've got more news, however, when you log on to starfm.com.gh, including the IGP assuring of police presence at the Akwatia by-election. Grateful for your time once again. From Awusi Dede Jange, lead producer, and the entire team, wish you a very good evening.